Today's video, we're going to be addressing the rear suspension on this J20. Now, I don't have the best fix for this in the world, but anything's better than the chewy rear shackle mounts that we have. So let me show you what we got going on here. So this is the rear shackle mount for this J20. I can almost push my finger through right there on the driver's side. Now, for what I'm wanting to do with this truck, obviously, that's not roadworthy. It's not in the best shape. And on this side, we're better, but we're not that much better. So we'll probably go ahead and do this side too. Now, the bad thing in this situation is you cannot buy those shackle mounts anywhere. And I probably could make a set. That'd take a lot of time. So what I found here is a shackle mount off of a lighter duty truck. Now, yes, it is lighter duty. However, it's not rotten. So I think we're going to go with this. It should just bolt right into place. It's bolted on, so they'll be able to be replaced down the road if they rot off again. But to use that, we got to get these old ones off. So I'm going to start by breaking the bolt there out of the leaf spring and getting it loose, and then attempting to get the bolt out of the shackle, and then we'll have to cut this factory spring hanger off. And yeah, it's going to be a process, and I don't know if this is going to be the greatest thing in the world, but anything should be better than what's rotted on it now. Yes, I believe that's off a Ford Ranger, light duty truck, and obviously this is a 3/4 ton truck of its era. We'll put it together, and if it won't hold up when this thing finally ever makes it on the road, then we'll replace it with something that will. So anyway, set you up over here and you can watch me struggle getting some bolts out. I had to do some more working on this than needs to be filmed. I'll update you when I get it loose. Get a little creative and cut the last little bit of it that wasn't plumb rotten in its hanger. This thing ought to ought to spin up. There we go. Like that. Now, I had to cut the end of the bolt off. We'll work on getting this bolt out later on. Frame's a little soft. It's got to need a patch. Gonna have to be plated. Without that, gonna have to be plated. Oh, there's a frame behind that old spring hanger. Looks like we're gonna be having to plate this from probably the edge of this hole up to about in here. So, guess that'll be the first step on this thing. We'll cut the rest of that old mount off, or hanger off, plate the frame, then mounting that. Bushings actually don't look terrible on these springs. Probably just try to reuse that shackle. So, anyway, it's a start on it. This is going to be a long process here. Then the truck has one other spot in the frame we have to patch, which is the top right in here. But other than that, everything seems solid. The front spring hangers, that one over there is just fine on the passenger side. This one here, man's gonna have to cut this out and fix the front of this box, but the bolt and the frame around the bolt look just fine. So, yeah, I knew it was gonna be some work. I just didn't quite realize it was gonna be quite this much work. But we'll get it. Okay, as you can see, got all the factory welded on spring hanger ground off flush with the frame. Put a little anti-seize on the outside of the frame. Got the edges cleaned up to weld. I'm going to lay my plate over this. I can also show you. Now this here I was able to knock a hole in with a hammer. That's how rotten it was in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to come behind after we put our outside plate on, and we're going to weld a plate into this hole up against the plate that we're putting on the outside. Then once we get that thing tacked on there, we're going to drill holes and bolt it with 3 bolts in a triangle on this side and 3 bolts in a triangle on this side. So I'll show you the plate once I get it rigged up into here. Alright, we're drilling our holes to mount our tie plate in. Excuse my shitty welding. When you're drilling this frame, I'm going to use 1/2-inch bolts, and I'm using 6 of them to hold the patch in, to strengthen the patch. Now, look, now I'm looking at it, it's probably too many, but I'm already committed and started. So I'm starting out with that drill bit there. Then I'm running it up to, I believe this is one of the finite sizes, over 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to 3/8, and then I'm stepping each hole out to 1/2 inch to run a 1/2 inch bolt through. So I was going to video this process, but I don't think anybody wants to see 30 seconds of really fast time lapse of me just drilling these holes out. So once I get all the holes drilled, I'll show you where I'm at on it. Alright, I got my plate all drilled here. We've got 3 1/2 inch holes to run bolts through the frame on each side. We have 4 3/8 holes to mount the spring hanger with. Then these 3 holes here, I started out trying to do the same pattern that I was going to do over here. But the issue is the rear of the frame kind of curves up behind this piece of plate right here a little bit. I've just left the plate straight. I don't really care how this looks. I just want it to function. So we're a little oblong on this pattern, but it should still hold. Optimally, this hole here should have been down in here. Keep the plate from torquing this way, but in all honesty, I think this is going to be plenty more strong than what we really need. So anyway, I'll set you up over here. We'll start bolting some stuff together. Alright, first we're going to go ahead and install our 1/2 inch bolts for the actual patch in the frame. These are going to be a little bit long. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and throw the hanger up there in place. You coat the whole back side of this where it mounts to the frame with anti-seize. Probably unnecessary, but we're doing it. I know it's not rust preventative, but if it helps with keep the rust off of threads and loosen up corrosion, it'll probably help here. Now, we're just going to get some bolts tomorrow, install the shackle, and we're pretty well done with this side. Okay, I got that, I got the threads on the end of that bolt cleaned up, and I believe I got it started. There's not enough room in there for me to really move my fingers and thread the bolt up on, so we're going to start it this way. this one up. There we are, snug. Let the jack down out of it. I'll tell you what, there isn't a whole lot of clearance in here. Okay. So there we are, mounted and tight. I don't know what the torque is on those. I'm assuming it's just tight. One thing I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. One, I got to tighten this bolt up, patch and frame still yet. This is looking pretty corroded here. One other thing I might do is I think I'm going to take another piece of plate, lay across the top of here, and bolt it, and then weld it to this piece. The bottom side looks plenty fine still. No real issues. I don't know what the deal is on this truck, but I think it sat up against a building or something at some point, and grass grew up around it, and the grass was mowed on the other side, because this spring hanger was rotted plumb off, and this soft spot in the frame was here, and there's another soft spot up there in the flange of the frame. On the other side, the spring hanger is in bad shape, and we're going to replace it with this type of spring hanger. But I beat on the frame on the back side of it with a hammer pretty good, and it seems solid. And there's none of the pitting in the top of the frame that there is over here on that side. So, regardless, here's the spring hanger we're going with. I'll get you the part number. It's for a Ford F-150 or Ford Ranger, either or, AutoZone. I'll show you that part number here at the end. But other than that, y'all have a good one. And this is not quite as structured, as strong as the one that was on there. The metal's just a little bit thinner, but I think it's going to end up okay. We'll just have to wait and see. Anything's better than rotten.